evening, our top story on Up South today is the controversy surrounding the Hyderabad Metro Rail project. We are asking, is this prestigious 14,000 crore rupees project in danger of being derailed? It would seem so if the tone and tenor of a terse 8-page letter written by L&T Metro Rail, which is constructing the project, to the government of Telangana is anything to go by. In the letter, L&T Metro Rail asked the government of Telangana to in fact take over the project. But realizing that the leakage of the letter showed both parties, the government and L&T, in poor light, now both of them are in damage control mode.
That is the knockout punch delivered by L&T in its letter to the Telangana government on the 10th of September. The letter found its way into the media, putting both the government and the L&T in an embarrassing position.
The Hyderabad Metro Rail is one of the big-ticket infrastructure projects coming up in the city. Now for L&T to threaten to pull out is an embarrassment to the Telangana government, because it questions the financial viability of the project in Hyderabad, because it is now the capital of a smaller state, and this damages brand Hyderabad.
One of the sticky points is that Telangana Chief Minister KCR asked L&T to avoid the route in front of the State Assembly and explore an alternate route. L&T says it has not received any official communication in writing, and having stopped work based on verbal instructions, it is losing 2 crore rupees every day.
We have no official communication of change of alignment except for stopping the work at some location.
On its part, the Telangana government sees a conspiracy in the leakage of the letter.
వచ్చిందో ఆ పత్రికలు ఆలోచించుకోవాలి. ఇది ఒక పథకం ప్రకారం జరుగుతున్న ప్రయత్నం. ఇది తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్రాన్ని చిన్నగా చేసి చూపెట్టే ప్రయత్నం, తెలంగాణ రాష్ట్ర సమితి ప్రభుత్వాన్ని చిన్నగా చేసి చూపెట్టే ప్రయత్నం.
The government clearly is in no mood to accept L&T's reasoning that Hyderabad's post-bifurcation is no longer a hot investment destination.
This is a complex set of reasons. One of the reasons which they have mentioned is the apparent slowdown in the projected growth which they had in mind about Hyderabad. Now, this is something which is very subjective.
An attempt is being made to show all is well and that the project is on track. L&T's worry is the financial implications if it is not able to complete the entire project by July 2017. With T.S. Sudhir in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
News now from Tamil Nadu that maintaining that the state opposition to imposition of Hindi is important, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister today strongly opposed the UGC circular on compulsory Hindi in the colleges, calling it unacceptable and illegal. The Jaya government has also directed 2 universities not to implement the circular and said the decision taken by the previous UPA government will not be binding. Meanwhile, in other news, in a setback to Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha, the Supreme Court today dismissed her government's plea that the Madras High Court order appointing U. Sagayam, the IAS officer, as a special commissioner who will investigate illegal mining in the state of Tamil Nadu should not be done. In fact, the Madras High Court had earlier appointed Sagayam to probe illegal mining and submit a report within 3 months. Joining me now is my colleague Shisha Reddy from Chennai. Shisha, Sagayam is known as the Ashok Khemka of Tamil Nadu. Now, how will this appointment actually work on the ground, given the fact that the state government has made it very clear that it is not really happy with this appointment made by the Madras High Court?
Well, that's right, Sudhir. That'll be very interesting to know how it's going to work on ground, because he was the one who brought out this illegal mining and also granite cases when he was the revenue and the collector officer when he was in Madurai. So after that, there were a lot of cases that were registered, at least 88 illegal cases, and also licenses have been cancelled and 36 cases have been booked. That was the Tamil Nadu government's appeal when they had gone to the Supreme Court. But on the other hand, the big question here is the government which had appealed to the Supreme Court to cancel or probably dismiss this kind of appointment by the High Court will actually help Sagayam in probing the matters and also to file a report in 3 months' time. So that's the big question that's seen here. But on the other hand, he is an anti-crusader. As you clearly pointed, he is the Ashok Khemka of Tamil Nadu. He has been transferred at least 23 times in 24 years of his service. So at least some report have to be, will be coming out in the coming days. But the 3 months' time and also How the
Right.
Tamil Nadu government is going to support him to file this report will be a big question, and we'll have to wait to know how this is all going to frame up in the coming days.
Right. Thanks a lot, Shisha. All eyes will be on that report, which he will submit to the Madras High Court after 3 months, and what happens to his posting after those 3 months. Thanks a lot for joining us from Chennai. Now, we have been reporting on Up South on the entire controversy surrounding the Dashara festival in Mysore, given the standoff between the Karnataka government and the royal family of Mysore. In fact, now I can go across to my colleague Rohini Swami, who is joining us live from the Mysore Palace in Mysore. Rohini, is there some kind of conciliation between the Karnataka government? Has there been some kind of a meeting ground which has been made possible?
Yes, absolutely. As I stand here in the Mysore Palace, I am told, and there was a press conference, a joint press conference between the royal family and the state government saying that the stalemate is over. I'm also joined by Mr. Srinivas Prasad. Sir, what is a stalemate over between the royal family? It has been said that the royal family put some conditions about how Dasara celebration should take place. Now, how is it going to be? Will Dasara be celebrated in Mysore, in the palace?
Some time ago, just we hold the joint press meet here in the palace. But some stalemate has been cropped up, with regard to the hold the cultural program in front of the Ambavilas Palace, just because of the sad demise of Shrikanta Narasimha Raja Odeer. With regard to the other programs, no change, no.
So what will be the programs in front of the palace for Dasara for the people?
Cultural programs, cultural program.
What assurance have you given the royal family?
Now we have made it clear, we have given assurance that only this, cultural this Hindustani music program, a Carnatic music program, and some noted artists like Jesudas and other artists will come. Very decent programs, very cultural background, cultural programs. We have made it very clear, convinced. We have given assurance to the royal family.
Yes.
They have gladly, accepted.
So one highlight of the Dasara festivities also is the Jumbo Savari, especially the state-sponsored one also. Will that take place?
Yeah, that will take place. No problem for that.
And who will be inaugurating the Dasara, sir?
No, this time noted Granapita awardee, Dr. Girish Karnad. He will inaugurate this on 29th morning on the top of the Chamundi Hills. He will inaugurate. In the evening, in front of this palace, cultural program will be inaugurated by our Honorable Chief Minister in the country.
As you can hear very clearly, and he has said that the festivities of Dasara will continue in the Mysore Palace. Yes, it will be muted. When he said cultural programs within the palace, what also he meant was also that dance programs will not be held, only musical programs will be held.
Right, Rohini, thanks a lot for joining us live from Mysore. So that's the breaking news we are getting to you from Mysore, that the Dashara festival will go on, probably a little muted compared to previous years, in keeping with the mourning period for the King of Mysore who passed away in December last year. Rohini Swami, thanks a lot for joining us with that report from Mysore. Now, staying with news from Karnataka, the fun trip to Europe that 14 MLAs of the Congress have gone by is gradually becoming a hot potato for the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to handle, especially because so far he was saying it was a private trip and the MLAs have to answer for what they have gone for. But the opposition obviously gunning for the Congress MLAs, especially when North Karnataka is reeling under floods, and this is being seen as unacceptable behavior. Now, it also transpires that a close aide of the Karnataka Chief Minister, Corporation Minister Mahadev Prasad, may have helped organize this trip. Joining me now from Bangalore is my colleague Pratibha Raman. Pratibha, is there a feeling that this is becoming some kind of a political embarrassment for the Congress party, something that the opposition, BJP and the JDS are exploiting?
Well, rightly said, Sudhir, there is some bit of a political embarrassment, especially with ministers like Srinivas Prasad, who seem to say that it is quite unfortunate that these MLAs have chosen to go at such a period in time when most parts of northern Karnataka are reeling in heavy rains and floods. But then there is some sort of a divisive house within the Congress, and in fact the voters of these MLAs must know what their MLAs are up to. In fact, I have the itinerary with me. Scenic cruise on Lake Luzern and a guided tour to the city of Paris, ride on the London Eye, places like these. So decency expected is that they would remain in their constituencies at such a period in time, especially the rehabilitation costs now in these parts parts of Karnataka stands at 1,000 crore rupees. So that is what we are talking about. And what is fishy is the fact that these 14 MLAs have chosen to go on this trip together with some of their family members. So many questions should be directed at them right now.
Right, at a time when the political class has been under attack, this kind of behavior probably not very acceptable. I wonder what the voters in those 14 constituencies in Karnataka will have to say to what their MLAs are up to. Pratibha, thanks a lot for joining us there from Bangalore. Now for a heart-rending story from the old city of Hyderabad. A 14-year-old who was forced into prostitution by her own family till one day when she scripted her dramatic escape. Ratnika Sharma reports from Hyderabad.
She was just 14 when the people she called her own turned villains. Her mother and uncle sold her off for a good sum of money, pushing her into the big bad world of high-end prostitution. 1 year later, she scripted her escape with the help of a friend.
जब पैसे कितने लिए थे कि वो नहीं मालूम, फार्म हाउस पे लेके गए थे और ऐसे फार्म हाउस पे लेके जाना, कार में छोड़ना, लेके जाना, वो लोग लेके चले जाते थे.
Suffering in silence and betrayed by her own parents for 1 whole year, this 15-year-old girl was sent to various clients, after which she decided that enough is enough. Breaking her silence and her bondage, she decided to seek help from an NGO.
बच्ची क्या है, कल सुबह 4:30-5 बजे के बीच में घर से सुबह का टाइम, अर्ली मॉर्निंग, वो घर से बाहर आके फलकनुमा रेलवे स्टेशन में थोड़ी देर बैठ के उधर से सिकंदराबाद रेलवे स्टेशन, उधर से काचगुड़ा रेलवे स्टेशन के पास आने के बाद उनका फ्रेंड को ऐसा मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रही, मेरे के ज़िंदगी से बाहर निकलना चाह रहे, मेरे को वो हमारा अम्मी लोगों, हमारा ब्रदर इन लॉ, वो उनका बहन का शवर, ये पूरा लोगों मिलके गंदे गंदे कामा करा रहे, मैं इधर से बाहर आना चाह रहे.
The girl is emphatic. She does not want to go back home. The scars of what she went through for a year will take a long time to heal.
मैं बताना नहीं चाह रही थी कि किसी को नहीं वो करना चाह रही थी, मेरी लाइफ में किसी को वो नहीं करना चाह रही थी.
The police say they will send the girl for medical examination and decide on where to rehabilitate her. With Ratnika Sharma in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.